So, this mouse is smaller and lighter than any mouse I've ever used. Let's talk about my 2 weeks trying to main a fingertip mouse and why this could very well be your endgame. So this is my 2+ weeks with the HSK Pro 4K, a super small, lightweight, under 30-gram mouse designed specifically for a fingertip grip. As you can tell, this is anything but ordinary. So I'll bring you through my journey with this, including little vlog check-ins along the way, giving you my whole personal experience with the HSK Pro 4K. Let's kick it off with like a day one, you know? Getting it in and unboxed. Taking a look inside, one of the things I've always loved about G-Wolves is the fact they never skimp out on the additional goodies and extras inside the box for you, and that still rings true today. For starters, you have a spare battery. I'll show you the differences coming up in a minute, but that's something you rarely ever see. We obviously then have our HSK Pro 4K unit in the transparent turquoise shell. Next up, we have these two little sticks. I thought this was like a cleaning tool or something, but it's actually for reaching the power switch on the bottom. Yeah, that's a thing. But actually for cleaning is this little brush. Dust it down, keep the mouse looking fresh. Then we have two micro USB cables. One is rubberized and one is braided. Pretty much, use one for the included 4K dongle, and then the other one is a charging cable. Then included inside that top envelope, you have your user guide and the info sheet, plus some extra add-ons, like the bottom sticker that you usually see on a mouse. They leave this one off by default, even though it weighs like absolutely nothing. Then you get two extra sets of mouse skates. This is for if you want to open it up and swap out the batteries, you'll still have new feet to use when you do swap them. And lastly, a whole pack of grip tape if you want to put it on the mouse. But yes, plenty of extras to configure the mouse exactly as you please. So touching back on those little sticks they give you real quick, you can see the power switch is seated just far enough inside the shell that you can't just flip it with your finger, unless you got some like super long fingernails on you. But that's what these sticks are for. And I do wish the power button was like, I don't know, 2 millimeters longer so people can actually reach it without having to look for something, Definitely an inconvenience. And then as for that additional battery I showed you, it comes with this little tester PCB so you can check the battery status. And no, these are not the explosive ones from the earlier units, by the way. But swapping batteries is pretty simple. Once you unscrew and take off the top shell, you just pop out the 2-pin connector cable from where it's currently seated, then plug in your new battery. You sit that in the gap on the bottom underneath the PCB, use the included sticky tape to keep it in place, cover up the cables, and you're good to go. It's not the most visually aesthetic choice, I'll say, but honestly, I could care less in the end. It's a simple swap. And there are differences with the two batteries we get. Stock, the HSK Pro is just 28 grams out of the box, and that's with the 130 milliamp hour battery. But the second battery we get does bump up the weight just slightly to over 31 grams, and that's with the 300 milliamp hour battery. So about a 4-gram difference between the two. At the end of the day, that's barely anything. It is physically larger in size, hence the weight difference, but in return, you do get over twice the battery life with the extra battery over the stock one inside the mouse. I do want to clarify and sort of like reiterate that it's not like a hot swap battery. It's not meant to be replaced every time the battery dies on you instead of just charging it. Because you do have to disassemble the mouse, take off the mouse feet, which is ruining a pair. So it's more like a type of thing where you swap batteries maybe twice the entire lifespan when you have the mouse. So going back, I used the original HSK back when that released, the wired red one. That was 2019 or 2020, and I just couldn't make the leap back then. Also, I was perfectly content at the time using my Razer Viper Ultimate, which was 3 years ago at this point. And just to sort of show you like a size comparison to the HSK Pro and the last 2 mice that I've mained over the last year, you can see the drastic difference between what I've been going back and forth with between my Pulsar X2 Mini release and the Viper V2 Pro, since that dropped almost a year ago now. And yeah, as you can see, it's a stark difference in design and size versus, what I'm used to, and probably you as well. But perhaps the biggest adjustment one would have to make is not to the physical size of the mouse, but transitioning strictly to a fingertip grip playstyle that this mouse clearly has been designed for. All right, so it's been about 48 hours with the HSK Pro 4K. And I have to say, it's gonna sound obvious, but obviously the transition to this new grip has definitely been a tough adjustment. I've just been getting wrecked in everything I've been playing so far. And the big reasoning for that is because of the new drastic change of the shape of the mouse and the new grip that I'm getting used to. I've always been a claw gripper, and now having to go strictly fingertip grip, I've noticed a few things. So I usually use ambi mice, and for my claw grip, my pointer finger and middle finger on left and right clicks, ring and pinky finger on the right side, thumb gripping on the left side. And the butt of my palm is always resting on the hump at the back of the mouse. That's my natural claw grip. However, now, since the mouse is about half the size of a usual mouse, I have a massive gap where my palm is resting on nothing. And that leaves all of my aiming coming up short. So for example, like in an FPS game, I'm really just aiming a lot lower than I want to. Instead of, hitting the upper chest or the head, I feel like I'm stalling out around the waist. And the reasoning for that is, after all these years of having my claw grip, the palm is pushing the mouse up a bit more when I would go to aim, helping it complete my aim. So if I'm aiming vertically, I start that transition and that action, and my palm really helps finish off the verticality of that. But now, since my palm isn't touching on anything, it's just stalling out way lower than I want to in-game. And also, I found that my palm has been sort of dragging a bit on the mouse pad, just leaving all of my aiming coming up short. So yeah, it's been a rough start to this mouse. So yeah, pretty obvious the first few days, it was definitely tough getting used to this. However, right as I got it in and started using it, one of the things that I noticed right away was the very unique switches versus what I'm used to. I've been using the Wano blue shell pink dots that are super crisp, but they use zippy switches here, which are a bit more muted. Take a listen. Now, personally, I don't mind the zippy switches. Yes, they're a bit more, quiet and not as crisp, but I kind of like that stark difference versus what I've been using. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I kind of like the zippies. Now, I do want to address the squeezing test and the sort of flex test that we always do with these mouse reviews. And sure, on the bottom when I was pressing it like that, there was some flex and play involved. But overall, for how small and compact this mouse has been designed to be, I am very impressed with how solid it is overall. There is no creaking or flex on the top or the sides, just that bottom part where around the power switch is, because there's a cutout there and there's nothing on the sides. So naturally there's gonna be some flex if you're pressing on it, which you won't be doing in your everyday, use case when it's on your mouse pad. So very impressed with the design. However, one thing I'm not a fan of are the left and right paddles shifting outward when you press closer to the middle of the shell. As you can see, there's more play than I'd ever like to see on a mouse, but unfortunately this area is not really meant to be actuated when you're gripping the mouse. The mouse and the switches are best used when you click towards the front or in line with the scroll wheel. Not like this, which is a bummer because with a mouse that's designed for a fingertip grip, you would like there to be a bit more sort of leeway with where you can press and actuate the switches more efficiently. But down here towards the hump of the shell, it's way more stiff and inconsistent versus, obviously having it more in line with where the switches are seated up towards the front of the mouse in line with the scroll wheel. So even though it's a fingertip grip mouse, you can't just fingertip it any way you'd like. It has to be specifically more towards the front like this. All right, so it's been about a week since I last checked in with you guys, and thankfully, I've definitely gotten used to the mouse. We as humans, we adapt pretty quickly, and thankfully that's the case here. Just booted up some Kovacs and in Tile Frenzy, I just set an all-time high. I believe my previous all-time high was like 103 in the 30-second challenge. That was with the Razor Viper Mini Signature Edition when I got that. Just hopped out at 106 with the HSK Pro 4K, but at 97% accuracy, only missed 3 shots. So I've definitely noticed the benefits of having this super light, just sort of natural extension at the end of your hand, where it really doesn't feel like you're using something. When it's that light and you're just using your fingertips, it is really just like an extension of your hand. So sure, my Tile Frenzy numbers might be nothing compared to yours. The fact is, with these aim trainers, it shows you
progress. It tracks your improvement over time. So the fact that I am hitting a new high score after a little over a week with the mouse does show you that physical, tangible improvement, which is sort of what you want when you get a new mouse that feels right to you. So I could say that after about a week is when it finally started to click for me. One of the funny things though is when it died and it was charging up, I had a fully charged V2 Pro already at the desktop. And now, after just using the HSK Pro 4K for the last, 10 days or so, any other mouse I use feels absurdly large in the hands just because I'm so used to that small fingertip 30-gram weight. It's insane. Like, even though the Viper V2 Pro isn't heavy or large at all, it feels like I'm holding a balloon in the hands. So you could say I've definitely gotten used to the HSK Pro 4K.
So really, right after that weak point, I'd say like 10 days in, is when it all started to really just make sense and feel more natural, having had to adjust my grip and sort of that, gap with the palm as I was talking about. Once I sort of repositioned my natural grip, really helped improve my aim. You can see from my casual gameplay, went back and started playing some Battlefield 5 for old time's sake, and this felt amazing. The sensor inside is a PNW 3395, and with the name, HSK Pro 4K, we do have a 4K Hertz polling rate here, which is what I've used and tested at the entire time, and I gained at around 600 DPI. Had zero issues with the new polling rate, obviously, or with the sensor. Everything felt fantastic once I made that mental leap to the mouse, or physical leap. And again, the big thing once you find a mouse that's right for you, depending on what game you play, it's all about knowing the play speed, right? And the player movements in game that you mostly play. So when it comes to like tracking or headshots, having that natural motion when you aim is what's most important. They always say shape is king. And while I wouldn't say the shape of a fingertip mouse is king, I really do think it's the most natural. Again, after about a week, it's been nothing but a great experience. What's not a great experience though has been the software. On their site, you have to update the firmware of the mouse and the dongle. And then there's like two different versions of the software. For me, the newest one didn't work at all. So I used the older one that was listed. And the software is very, very dated and just, not good. The battery life indicator is just like this little loading bar type thing you see in Windows, which absolutely sucks. I can say though, even at the 4K Hertz polling rate, the battery life's been pretty good. Right now I have the 300 milliamp hour battery inside, and it's been, I think they've rated around 30 hours, which is definitely pretty good. I've had to charge this once so far, and then with the 130 milliamp hour battery that comes stock, that's rated for around 24 hours, and I've charged that once as well in the last 2 weeks. Granted, I'm not playing, multiple hours each day, so 2 times in 2 weeks, not too bad for the battery. Also, the price of this mouse is definitely up there. Granted, this version with the transparent shell is one of the newer ones, so it's a bit pricier, which is kind of odd. It's like $170, $180, and that's just a lot for a mouse right now. I mean, granted, that's on par with like the Viper V2 Pro when that came out. It's much cheaper than the Razer Viper Mini Signature Edition. It's also more expensive than like the Pulsar X2 and X2 Mini that I've been loving. So you're definitely gonna be paying a premium price for not a lot of material overall, right? With a fingertip grip mouse. Here's the thing. For the average person out there, the gamer, the competitive gamer even, the adjustment to this could very, very well be worth the purchase. For me, a tech YouTuber, this is not the mouse for me. And I mentioned it in that early vlog check-in, but after using this for 2 weeks, now just holding and really going back to any other mouse, like the Viper V2 Pro, like the Pulsar X2 Mini, which are smaller, lighter mice still, everything just feels so much larger in my hand after being used to this. So, as a tech YouTuber who reviews multiple mice a month, who gets multiple mice in, it's tough for me to adjust to a very, niche mouse and size when 95% of the mice that I get in are more of a normal shape and size, ambi, ergo, versus the one-off fingertip grip mouse. So for you, it very well could be endgame. For me, I'm gonna stick with my usual routine, which is the Pulsar X2 Mini and the Viper V2 Pro. Those have been my go-tos the last year, and I just can't physically myself, because of the job, make the transition to a super small niche mouse shape. But guys, that'll wrap it up for my experience and my review of the HSK Pro 4K mouse, a super unique one. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed the sort of vlog style. Let me know if you like the little sort of check-ins along the way to give you personal updates on how it went. If you did like this review, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.